what was it like for you growing up in your community?
Growing up in my community was family orientated. My mother, I am the last of 14 children. My mother and father had plenty of grandchildren. It's a wider community, so everything for us was community orientated. Like for example, on a Sunday, my mom would cook for the community. So I am from a big family and a wide community.
I see. So in terms of your education, what school did you attend?
I attend basic school, so for us it's preschool. Here they call it preschool, in Jamaica we call it basic school. Then I went to primary school, then I went to secondary school. I started college but I didn't finish it, I came to the UK.
What age roughly did you came to the UK?
I came to the UK in 2000, so I was 22. And I joined the army at 24, 2 years later, yeah.
How did you know about the army?
I knew there was an army, but I didn't know that I could join it. I was asked by a friend to follow him to the careers office, and I did, and they said I could join, and I thought that was impossible. And they explained to me that I'm foreign and Commonwealth, so I could join the army. And I said I was too short, because that's what Jamaican Defence Force had told me, that I was too short. And they said, stop making excuses, just fill this form out. So I did, and even then I didn't think I would join the army. I thought it was a prank. At the time I was working in McDonald's, and so they called me to do like what they call a BARB test. So I went in and did the BARB test, and after I did the BARB test, I tell my score, I could have joined the nursing corps, engineering, etc. So when I get my BARB score and they told me what I could join, I was like, yeah, I still didn't believe it. So I went back to work. I didn't tell my boss that I was joining the army because I thought it was a joke.
Okay. In terms of the trade that you chose, is it something you wanted to do?
So initially when I joined, I would join to become a nurse, and then in phase 1 training, believe it or not, they showed me a video of a nurse that has big fat ankles. Sorry, I talk with my hands. So she had big fat ankles eating cake, and they said to me, at that time I was about size 6, size 8, and they said, if you become a nurse, this is what you're gonna become in a few years' time. So because of that, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then they showed me medic jumping out of airplanes and stuff like that, or I should say helicopters and chin-ups and stuff. And then I wanted that, so I was like, no, I'm not doing nursing. So in phase 1 training, I changed to become a medic.
Let's rewind a bit, back to your basic training.
Yeah.
Is it something that you expected?
The basic training was difficult. It was a culture shock for me. Even though I was living in the UK 2 years prior, it was still a culture shock in the stuff that they say, their slang, their language, their banter. It was new to me because I wouldn't say I grew up sheltered, but I never used those languages, the swearing. Even though the army has like core values and respect, and I thought swearing so much was lack of discipline. So I didn't consider it as discipline. I found that a bit shocking to me. The food, because I was vegetarian, I find that challenging because oftentimes it was meat. I remember my first exercise when they teach us how to cook in the field, it was meat, and they pass it around and I didn't eat it. And she said, oh, you think it better than people? I said, no, I'm vegetarian. And she said, okay, and then she passed another background with cake in it, but it was chocolate cake. And I still didn't eat it, and she said, oh, so now you prove you're better than people. I said, no, it's got eggs in it. And I don't eat egg. But the fact of the matter is, she was truthful in what she was saying, but I was also truthful to be a vegetarian. I didn't eat from people except my mom at that stage. My mom passed at 12 and she was the only person I would eat from and drink after. So I didn't feel comfortable about passing around that 36 other people and dip the spoon in and eat and then it would follow. So I didn't eat it. So I was thankful that I was a vegetarian.
Okay. So in terms of the physical side of it, how did you find it? The
physical side of it, I was fit because I used to do martial arts and I used to play football back in Jamaica. So the physical side of it wasn't too difficult for me. I find it really straightforward. The only bit that I found difficult was the tabbing. You know what tabbing is? Putting the weight on your back and carrying weight, that was a challenging bit for me, but the rest of it was fine because I used to do martial arts. So I was fit because I used to do karate and football. I used to do cross country at the time, distance running, but then yeah, I didn't find the fitness too challenging. I found the assault course difficult because I was short, and I found the tabbing difficult because also I was short and I was a female, and I train with a lot of males who walk very fast and has long legs, so that was difficult for me.
Okay. How did you feel on your personal parade?
I felt proud. I felt good because the guys that I started with and I finished with, I felt the comradeship. I still have friends to this day. Roy that spoke today was one of them that we went through training together, and it's nice to see that some of us are still here soldiering on.
How did you manage your first unit?
My first unit as a private, I went to Germany. It was one med at the time, one CS medical regiment in Germany, Munster, Germany. And for me, when I got there, Iraq had kicked off and everybody was going to Iraq and I wanted to go. And my boss said I wasn't going, and I think it's because I had said that if I don't want to be resuscitated, but he said that he saved the best people behind. So then I start working in the welfare, and that's when I become in love with the welfare side of the army, because even though I was a private soldier and I was delivering newsletters and see how the welfare helped families, that makes me want it to be a part of that.
Right, so where do you base? So what's your job as a staff sergeant on a day-to-day basis?
So right now I'm based in Cyprus, MRS Episcopi. I am a practice manager. It is a very difficult job, and if anyone had told me that it would be that hard, I probably wouldn't have taken it. It's challenging because you're managing not just yourself, but the soldiers and the civilians and the building and everything that comes with it. You have to do, like, right now we're preparing for CQC inspection, which is very heavy because this is the first one since COVID. So it's going to be difficult, and I'm here today while everybody else is there working. So going back, I'm going to be foot running, or you say sure you're in the ocean and you have to swim. So yeah, it is a challenging job, but yeah. That's
How long have you done?
I've been in the army since 2002, so I have done 21 years. So next year will be my 22 years part, in which I'm going to retire.
Have you ever stopped and think about VENG to extend your service?
I have been given VENG, but I do not want it. At the current pace where I am in Cyprus, I have come across some challenges that affect my mental health, and I believe that my mental health is more important than taking VENG. So at this point, I count my loss, and I'm looking forward to moving on to new challenges.
What's the advice you give to anyone who wishes to join the army?
I would say if you're joining the army with open mind. You can't be one-tracked. You have to be able to have banter. The banter takes you a long way. You have to also remember your given core values. The army gives you some, but remember your own, because my parents instilled in me integrity. So integrity I didn't learn from the army, I learned that from my parents. And the courage to stand up for what you believe in. And even for courage, you need to be courageous to stand up when no one is looking, because that's the important thing. And to be you, believe in yourself, be that individual. Do not follow the crowd, because not all the time the crowd is right. Just be you.
Thank you so very much for this interview, and thank you so much for your service. And I do hope that whenever you're ready to leave, you'll have a smooth transition.
Thank you so
much. And
much.
you'll do exactly what you plan to do.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so very much.